Hi everybody, I just wanted to welcome everyone to our Care Collab, and then I do want to mention the other channels that are participating. Let me just move my computer over so I can see the names real quick. So we have April's Orchids and Plants, Attainable Green, Fernanda Nascimento's Orchids and Succulents, Michelle's Life on Repeat, Nicole Deanna, Ninja Orchids, Orchids and Finbos, Plants and Other Things, Roger's Orchids, and the Orchid Saga. I reached out to Nina approximately 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago, and asked her if we could do this Care Collab because I have had this plant, this Zygonisia, cross between a Zygopetalum and an Aganisia, since October of 2019. And for those of you who've seen some of my other videos know I've had a lot of my orchids since October 2019, and that's because that's when I kind of started my little journey down the road to no return. And she came in bloom, could not remember what the blooms looked like, but there were buds. So I said, can we do a Care Collab, and hopefully mine will be in bloom by that time. So just to give you a little backstory on this little girl, initially when I got her home, that was back in the day when I repotted every new orchid I got as soon as I got her because I was afraid of bugs and all that good stuff. So I put her in my mix of the time, which was all bark and a little bit of moss at the top to encourage roots to go down. Well, she quickly started going downhill. As you can, let's see. No, I've cut off all the dead leaf that was on there. So then I put her in bark with a little more moss, and she was doing better. She had a nice new growth that had a spike on it. I quickly broke both of those, trying to be anxious and messing with it too much. So then I waited and waited and waited, and she stalled and stalled and stalled. So then I decided to put her in just all moss with some perlite, and she took off after that. So I only water when this gets almost dry, and she's still very wet at the bottom, so I know that she's got plenty of moisture in there right now. I try not to stick my finger in the pot itself just because I know that Zygopetalum and Zygonisia roots are really sensitive, even though they're nice, thick, and fleshy, just like our Phalaenopsis, but they're a little more sensitive. So she produced initially, let me move this leaf out of the way here. She initially produced that really small growth you see there with the two leaves on the, I guess your left, my right, your right, my left, I don't know. That little itty bitty growth, and then did nothing. Then it produced this back here, this little growth right here in between. You can't really see, but there, let's see if we can turn around. Right here, you can kind of see the bulb in the background there. It was a little bit bigger. Then the latest growth was this one here, that it never fully matured its bulb at the top. There's just a little bulb down there at the bottom, but the leaves were a lot bigger than the previous. So I said, okay, she must like this. She must like where she's sitting, which she sits right in that empty spot right there on that plant shelf, which is facing an east-facing window. And then she shot out this growth here that kind of stalled for a second, and I thought she was going to produce a spike. And she said, no, not on this one. You're going to have to wait a little bit longer. So I waited. And then this latest growth right here shot up, and she gave me this. Look at those blooms, guys. Let me just hold them still for you. Look at those blooms. Are those not just absolutely gorgeous? And I know it's a Zygonisia simply because Zygopetalums, their flowers, the lip stays down. I believe that the trait from the lip being up is from the Aganisia, as far as what I can tell. From the Orchids, American Orchid Society website, but I don't have a scent yet, and I don't know if this scent is just at certain times of the day, or because she hasn't bloomed in a while I'm not going to get one, or maybe I just don't smell it. But look at those. This is why I was asking for the Care Collab. I wanted to share these blooms with you guys. Let me, oh my goodness, are they not gorgeous? I just love, love, love that soft lavender with that nice deep, let me see if I can get one of them down a little bit. Look at that deep purple lip with a little bit of edge of white on there. Oh my goodness, just gorgeous. So I have learned my lesson. I am just going to leave her in this pot until she absolutely outgrows it and needs it. And I will continue to always put her in moss and perlite. The only change I'm going to make when I do repot is I will add some charcoal. I had not started using charcoal when I repotted her. I had put her in this setup back in December. So 6 months later, I've got a bloom. And thank you so much, Nina, for putting this together. And thank you to everyone else who is participating. I look forward to seeing your Zygo Zygopetalum, Zygonisias, maybe both. I do have another Zygonisia. It's the Zygonisia Dove of Peace. She came to me in good shape, but she's slowly going downhill. I've lost 2 bulbs and I'm trying to save the last bulb. But I did move it into the same mix that I have this one in, took it out of its mix that I had it in, which was mainly bark and some moss. I put it in the moss and perlite to see if maybe that will help. I put it in there yesterday with 1 little bitty root in there, so I'll have to wait and see. If you guys know which Zygonisia this is and can tell me, I would so appreciate it. It kind of looks like the starts with an M, Kamachi. I've been looking at Zygonisia blooms for a week now, trying to identify this, and that's the closest one that I can get to. Let me look real quick. Hold on. The Murasaki Kamachi, I think is what it's called. But that's the closest that I could find. I did find some that were a little similar, but that's the closest one that I could find. So if anybody could let me know if they know which one this is, that would be amazing. Look at that bloom. Look at that. Oh my goodness gracious, it's just gorgeous, just gorgeous. All right, well guys, be sure to go check out April's Orchids and Plants, Attainable Green, Fernanda Nasimato, Orchids and Succulents. And again, Fernanda, I am so sorry for messing up your name. Michelle's Life on Repeat, Nicole Deanna, Ninja Orchids, Orchids and Finbos, Plants and Other Things, Roger's Orchids, and the Orchid Saga. Go check out and see what their Zygos, Zygonisia, Zygopetalums look like and their care, because we all grow in different environments. Just as an end note, I grow in my living room with an east-facing window. Average humidity right now in the summertime with the AC going runs between 45 and 55. In the winter, it runs between 30 and 40. And I do have some supplemental lighting, mainly a grow shelf with a couple of others, but generally most of the light comes from my east-facing window. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to check out the other channels. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.